Yes, people, welcome to Premier League Unpacked. We're back for another episode. As you can probably see, things are a little bit different this week. We're here in the flesh.
In the flesh.
Yeah, man. Feels good.
But
It's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but definitely feels good. You got anything to say to the people?
yeah, man, the setup's sick. I like the setup. I like, all this new high tech shit and all of that, bro. I'm not really involved with all of that. I just do it raggos and rough, but nah, Tom, it's good. But we want to give the people something a little bit different as well. And I think sitting here in flesh and having one screen, I think it's something that we're going to be rolling out a little bit more, obviously, consistently. Can't say every week because we both live in different places. But yeah, man, big up people. Thank you for waiting. And we're just going to have to get into what a disgraceful
100%.
couple of weeks it's been for Arsenal, man.
Let us know, anyone that's already locked in, let us know in the comments. How's the audio sounding? Are we clear enough? Do you want our levels up a little bit? Because obviously we're here in the room. It's the first week in the room, so you let us know in the comments if you need us to be a bit louder or anything like that. But yeah, sorry I stepped on that. As you said, I think there's only one place to start. I noticed you haven't posted any reaction yet from Brighton. Is that because you just needed time?
To be honest with you, Tom, I was just royally pissed off. Royally pissed off where I couldn't even be arsed saying anything or doing anything. I was just thinking, you know what, yeah, because I got myself in a position where I started to believe again and think, you know what, it's possible, it's possible. And like I said, before we even played the Crystal Palace game and we spoke about it, I said, them three next games, Palace, Brighton, Southampton are must-win games, bro. Look what we've gone and done, bro. We've gone and lost first two. What kind of fuckery is that? Do you know what I mean, bro? So and I'm kind of lucky in a sense because, as you know, Deep's on holiday and that, and obviously, man's just been down here doing the graft and whatnot. So I've not really had the time to
away from it.
Yeah, I've not really had the time to go because fuck me, if I would have went up there and we would have lost, bro. It's not even that, it's the performance, especially this Brighton game that's just gone, Tom. The performance was absolutely dreadful. These men start playing in the 89th minute. Like, why are you going to play in the 89th minute? You get me? Like, where's the ascendancy? They look like these men just seeing United get beat. Get me? Early kickoff, seeing United get beat, and went in and put a performance in like that. And first of all, Arteta fucked up royally because I don't know why he's dragging Xhaka to left back. You get me? Because Emery done that, fucked up. You get me? He should have give Tavares his opportunity. At the end of the day, he might not be, pulling up trees, but you're just absolutely writing a man off. This is your signing.
I know.
This is your signing. How are you not letting him have a game? So, for me, Tom, I think everything from the start of the game to the end of the game was just a shambles, and you can clearly see the squad depth ain't strong enough.
Yep.
And I've said it many times again. January, shot ourselves in the foot, let Aubameyang go, got no replacement in, didn't get a midfielder, and now we've got a shallow squad. Players are out, vital players, and we fucked it by the looks of it.
Yeah, it's a very different position. It's been a mad season this year in that regard, hasn't it? Like, it feels like there's been a lot of moments in the season where, like, a situation has looked like one thing, like who's going to get fourth or who's going to get relegated. And then in the space of, like, 1 week of results, 2 games maybe, it's flipped on its head and the momentum's changed and it feels like it's going to be somebody else. 2 games ago, I felt quite confident that Arsenal were in the ascendancy. Now it feels like most people would say it's Tottenham's to lose now.
Most definitely.
As much as I know that probably hurts you to say.
But you know what though, Tom? If you look at the facts of it, they've got Antonio Conte. You've seen where I was screaming out for him. Screaming out for him because this is a man of experience, a man that's done it, and a man that's won. He brought in 2 signings in January. Look how that's transformed the team around. There ain't no world beaters that he's brought in. But he's a man of knowledge, and he's got the power to pull them players into a shit club like Tottenham. So we missed the trick on him in it. But the bottom line of it is he is the 3rd best manager in the league for me. So if he does get Tottenham top 4, won't be no surprise. We've just missed out on an opportunity because we ain't got no balls. Simple as that. When it matters, and I've always said it, when it really matters, we could just never come through, Tom. And it's sickening. It is really sickening.
Performance-wise, like you said, the performance wasn't good enough against Brighton. What do you think went wrong with the performance outside of the Xhaka being in that left back position? Was it an energy thing? Was it a quality thing? Was it
I think it was just
tactics?
Fully ran out in midfield, bro, because there was no Thomas Partey. Yeah,
that's a big loss for you
massive
guys,
loss. And then obviously I'm not Shaka's greatest fan, but realistically he's going to be the next best midfielder in there.
Yeah.
So we've just took out both of them. Yeah, and then we put in Lokonga, who's already been confident shot as a number 6 on his own to do the dog work. We just got outran and overran, and it didn't look like the will was there and the passion and the hunger and desire for a team that's chasing top 4. And I think the balance in the team, having Lacazette, bro, I'm telling you, these man can't give him a new contract. It's impossible for him. You get me? Like, what does he actually do? Like, he looks like, you know, when you see them 2 old granddads at a barbecue boxing and that. That's what Lacazette is, you get me, fam? Lacazette is that up front, fighting his way to get, like, I'm not trying to doubt his will and his passion and his hunger to try, but he just hasn't got it now, and he just has to call it a day now. And this is where the manager needs to step in and think, you know what, if he didn't want to play Tavares, bring in Saka at left back, put Martinelli up front, bring in Pepe on the left or on the right, either or, do you know what I mean? Change it around, do something different. But you know what, it's just, for me now, top 4's definitely done. We ain't got the character, we ain't got the bottle to go and win 5-6 games straight. Definitely not.
The problem is as well is it seems like other clubs have that feeling about Arsenal. Like what I got from Brighton and Brighton's performance, and shout out to Brighton, because I thought they, as much as Arsenal played badly, I thought they played quite well. It was high intensity.
Trossard's top player, man.
Trossard played well. Big up Welbeck, legend in these parts. You get me?
Danny Welbeck,
Trinity legend, my guy. You know, I
thought a Coinbase notification scene.
I just checked just in case you're going to the moon. It was. But I got the impression that Brighton saw that Crystal Palace game and said, like, they smelt blood. They're on a wobble here. We can go after him.
Used it a bit like a blueprint of how to beat us.
A blueprint, and also just like a chink in the armor, a sign of vulnerability. Whereas I don't think that Brighton necessarily would have felt that same way if the team that had lost the week before had been a Chelsea or, you know, maybe even a Tottenham. I think they. Not to say that they wouldn't have gone into the game thinking we've learned stuff, we're going to try and get a win as well, but I looked at that Brighton game like Brighton were trying to take advantage of knowing that Arsenal might be having a wobble and knowing that Arsenal, of all the clubs in and around this race, are the club outside of United who are now way long out of the conversation. I've been saying they've been out of the conversation, but I'm not even talking about United in this anymore. Of the teams that are left in that little chase, Arsenal, Tottenham, let's throw Chelsea in that mix. Arsenal are the one that feel vulnerable in the sense of it's a young squad, it's an unproven manager, and just the mentality towards Arsenal, whether that's within Arsenal and within the fans, or whether that's other clubs looking at Arsenal like they are still prone to just bottle it. And the problem sometimes with that is that then is kind of gets like wind in the sails of a team like Brighton. You know, instead of coming there feeling apprehensive that they're going to get a bounce back from Arsenal and they're going to get a slap in. Like when City lose, I think other clubs come the next game and think, it's going to be even harder for us now. Because they don't lose 2 on a bounce, there's a wounded animal, they're going to come back and massacre us. I don't think Brighton probably weren't feeling like that against Arsenal. And it showed, and they were right not to. In hindsight.
No, I hear what you're saying, Tom. I do hear what you're saying. Look, at the end of the day, I think it's one of them things as fans that we've got a mentality block as well, because as much as I've been giving Arteta praise over the last few weeks, which I have, because there has been times where we would have gone to a Villa and lost, and there has been times that, you know, he has actually, you can see there's a development in the team and mentality. But as fans, I feel like that we've actually been mentally scarred by the club, because look where we've been for the last nearly 20 years, bro. It's not really been, we ain't been setting anything alight, have we? Do you know what I mean? And we used to win shit, bro. We used to win shit. And then automatically we've just stopped winning stuff. We didn't win anything for like 9-10 years. FA Cup come along. And we're just getting scraps. Do you know what I mean? As fans, you hurt. And I think you're a bit scarred. I think they think, oh, you know what? Yeah, if the same thing happens again, if we go and lose again now, like you said, I agree 100%. Everyone's going to think the exact same thing. Where if these players now can go up forward and change it and go and win like a 6-0 at Southampton, like a Chelsea did, then it might be, people might still be humming and hawing.
Yeah.
But where after this Brighton game now, obviously, as it's done, it does seem that way where a lot of people think already the mentality is a fuckery. And it's locked off. You know what I'm saying?
This next game is a huge game. Like you said, this whole 3 games was a big 3 games. And, I'll take this moment to give you your props. I think there's a few things in the last however many weeks that you've just forecasted perfectly. Do you know what I mean? Whether it was these 3 games and calling out kind of, or anticipating that these, because everyone else was probably looking ahead of these 3 games to the 3 games afterwards. Yeah. The United, Chelsea. You got Chelsea.
Yeah.
You got West Ham somewhere in there. You got United somewhere in there.
Tottenham as well.
Tottenham's coming.
That's the most vital game in it. Like, that's where people were looking and thinking, yeah, we get the game advantage. You know, get the 3 points ahead of him, and then we go there, get a draw or something like that. But now they've just fucked it, really.
I think the key is, I think Arsenal they've got to win. They've got to play well and win convincingly in that next game against Southampton next, isn't it?
Southampton next, yeah.
Because then, if they win that, and then they go into that next game with Chelsea, at least they're going into that game, hopefully still in touching distance with Tottenham. And Tottenham have got some hard games coming as well. They need to at least stay within reach. They need to keep the pressure. If they lose to Southampton or drop points to Southampton, then the Arsenal players will start to feel like it's over. Then they'll go into that Chelsea game lacking confidence. And the next thing you know, the race will be over before they even get to play Tottenham. Arsenal just need to make sure that we're a point, 2 points, level on points with Tottenham coming into that Arsenal-Tottenham game. So that we've still got an opportunity to go there and do something.
Tom, now. It's difficult.
Yeah.
It is actually difficult, Tom. Sorry to cut you, because realistically, bro, like, I know my club in it. Like, this is like where we talk about the mentally scarredness. Now, after them, I would have wanted to see a bounce back and a performance after Palace defeat. You get me? Because obviously, coming back after the international break, you know, Patrick Vieira, it can happen, and we haven't really got the greatest record against Palace anyway. They do normally do well against us. However, so did Brighton. If you look at it, Brighton, I think, other than like United and Liverpool, have caused us the most problems over the years. But it's just one of them, Tom. Well, let's have a look into the comments and that, and see what people are saying and that, and then answer a few of them questions as well, because obviously I know we're a little bit far from them people, so don't want to leave you hanging.
Yeah, and, we've got
big up Saeed. I can see Saeed in the chat from over here.
Big up Saeed. Let me try to see if I can zoom in a little bit so you can see some comments over there as well. Arsenal defend like that they did against Wolves 2-1 and Brighton against United. Welcome back, Santa Claus FC. West Ham are still in a chance of top 4.
I don't know if West Ham are still in a chance of top 4 now. I looked at the table earlier. It's a stretch now for them. I think it's Arsenal and Tottenham now. I know we're speaking like it's over for Arsenal, but
no, there is a chance. There is, isn't it? It's just like I said, it's Tom, and I've always said it. We're the team that are used to fucking up all the time, innit? And that's why it's now where, for me, it wasn't. I was never getting too excited. I always had my feet on the ground, because I always said to you, the last 5 games of the season, I'll see where we're at. And then you can even go back to loads of my interviews or everything that I've spoke about. I've always said the last 5 games of the season, see where you're at. Because then, realistically, obviously you can still fuck it up, but you can actually get a good image then and see where you stand. What I just think now, I think United have fucked it. I think Arsenal have fucked it. I think Chelsea with that 6-0 win, I think they've more or less cemented 3rd place. Yeah. And I think Tottenham, really it's theirs to lose. I think if they lose that 4th spot, I think they're daft. Silly.
I mean, Arsenal are in the process of fucking it. They've not fully fucked it yet. I understand that from your point of view, because you anticipated that these 3 games are where it would be won and lost, and Arsenal have literally done the worst they could have possibly done in the first 2 of those 3 games. I understand why it feels like I've already seen this movie play out. I mean, on paper, it's still, you know, if you guys win your game in hand, we're level on points. okay, they're doing better on goal difference. But that says to me that, like I said, if Arsenal can just do at least as well as Tottenham in their remaining fixtures until they get to that Tottenham Arsenal
They've got
game.
an easier running, haven't they?
Tottenham.
Yeah, they've got an easier running. Like
I
can't
have,
see
but
us
they've got
beating
Liverpool.
Chelsea. I can't really see us beating United, even though United are losing. It's just one of them games that I think all the form goes out the window, and it's just one of them where anyone can win. And the way we're playing, we go in like that and play fucking in the 89th minute, give it everything from then, bro. We're fucked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to look at it as realistic as possible. I think it's probably a 5th place finish for Arsenal this season. And you know what? Yeah, I thought we would probably finish 7th, but once you've got the opportunity to go in there and get that 4th spot, bro, you have to go in and get it. Unfortunately, the players are inexperienced, the manager's inexperienced, and it's starting to tell. It shows, bro.
And I think already it seems like you're being proven right with the take of the January transfer window was the letdown moment, because it was actually at the point that the transfer window happened was before you guys went on that amazing run. But so at that point, you know, maybe Arteta or maybe the board didn't quite realise the opportunity that they had. You know, but as soon as that run happened and you got put into that pole position and everyone was getting excited, but then people like you were saying, wait a second, what happens if one of these guys in centre mid gets injured? Or what happens if one of these guys in that front three gets injured? And all of a sudden that we've got nothing and nobody to come in and fill them gaps. And unfortunately that's how it's mapped out, and it's hard to not feel like how different could things maybe have been, even if they'd made one strong signing. One more player could have been the difference.
You know
one centre mid, one striker. It's not going to have made you win the league, but it might have been enough to have just
most
got
definitely
over the line for this 4th place.
Most
and then what does that do for what you're able to go and do in summer now? If Arsenal don't get this 4th place, I think that is the conversations of who is on the list of what's available then at summer in the transfer market changes.
No, definitely, bro.
Does Martinez still want to come if they don't get 4th? Not because he necessarily isn't willing to not play in the Champions League, but it's not only that you'd have to miss a year's Champions League, but it's how a player's going to look at and assess the situation at Arsenal and with Arteta if it's perceived as what you just said. Oh, he's an early man. Do you know what I mean? Are these players going to look at this season and Arteta's finish to the season and think that's a project that I buy into? Unfortunately, because they got into that 4th place, now 5th does feel like an anticlimax, not just for the fans, but for prospective signings.
Do you know what it is as well, Tom? Like I agree with everything you're saying, because January, like you said, like that was a kick in the dick, bro. Because it's not like as a fan I wasn't saying don't let Aubameyang go, because if it's not working out, I'm all for letting him go, because he didn't have the greatest time at Arsenal towards the back end of his career. Obviously, I love Aubameyang, still doing well in Spain now, scoring 10 goals plus, and hats off to him. But the mistake is letting him go and not bringing somebody in.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because, yeah, we have saved on this and saved on that, but at the end of the day, what matters in football is goals getting scored. And I would rather have an Aubameyang there with a 50-50 chance of him scoring or not than having a Lacazette there with a 99% chance of him not scoring, you know what I mean, fam? So, obviously, the manager's there to make the decisions. I think the last game, I think he proper fucked it. I think he knows to himself he fucked it as well. And we just got to see where we go from there. But I just think now it's Tottenham's to lose. And I don't think we're in a strong position at all to get it, bro, at all, because I think Chelsea will do us. It's a good chance we might even get a draw with United. There we go. We're already at it. Do you know what I mean? That's lost another 5 points got dropped there. Yeah. So it is a madness. It's absolutely a madness. While
we're on the topic of this top 4 race, I guess we're not going to dwell too long on Tottenham, because I know that's only going to be adding to your pain. But what it seems like they are, when I listen to Tottenham fans speaking, ex-players, stuff like that, it seems like because in recent years they've had a bit more success than an Arsenal, even than a United, in terms of getting into the Champions League. They've had a bit just in recent years. We're talking 4, 5, 6 years.
They've hard to say.
It feels like
won shit though.
No, they've not won anything.
Like, we've still won an FA Cup in our dog days. You know what I mean?
100%.
These are dead foodies. I don't even know why these are ever in the question for top 6 talk anyway. And that man, these ain't got no.
But that in that talk, in top 4 talk, they have, like you said, they've not won anything, or but they have been getting in and around that top 4 or getting that top 4 for a decent amount of seasons now. So strangely, coming into this run-in, they're the team that is being here before. Do you know what I mean? Both the players and the fans. There's players in that team that have been in these positions before and ended up on top, ended up taking that 4th place or 3rd place or whatever. They've been on Champions League runs recently, and the Tottenham fans as well seem to believe that like they've got that almost arrogance now that sometimes you need of, yeah, of course we're going to get it because it's our time now kind of thing.
But you know what? They've got every right to believe, Tom, because they've got a world-class manager. They've got a world-class manager, and if I had a world-class manager, I'll believe, even if shit ain't going right, he's got some sort of plan that this guy wants to win now. He doesn't just want to win in 2-3 years' time, but he wants to win now. And you can see with Antonio Conte, you can see in some of his press conferences, all that's kind of ironed out now. I think he had his little bitch fits and that, and behind the scenes, it all got sorted out. Certain things got made. He got 2 signings in January, and I think that's the kind of manager that Tottenham needs. Someone to give Levy a kick up the arse. We'll have a look and see any of the more comments on there and see what they're saying. And then,
so we've got why not Spurs? Said Saka left back and Pepe right wing. But there's a serious and personal dislike and lack of respect towards Pepe from the manager. Doing everything not to play him, and I don't know why. It seems petulant.
I think he's gone, to be honest with you. I think he knows he's gone, yeah. I think probably next season he'll be gone. I think Arteta, when he wants to play a gun, he just doesn't play it a minute.
How much did Pepe cost?
75 mil, right? 75 mil.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's common for players to get bought that cost and be a flop these
Obviously,
days.
but there was a lot of dodginess going on in that deal.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, it was come out and that, they're saying it. Like, I think Raul Sinelli and that's why he got chopped from the club and that, because brown envelopes and that were getting passed back. So it was one of them, innit? So I think they fucked up with Pepe. I think he's a good player, but I think he'll be a good player somewhere else. Do you know what I mean?
Because go French league or something and tear it up.
Talented, but it's one of them, Tom. I just can't. It just hurts, man, because I got my hopes up a little bit, innit? Got my hopes up a little bit against the green and thought, you know what, fuck it. Just see what happens, and then 2 games later, they just shut you down.
Well, it's not over. Arsenal, don't flop it, man. Don't flop it for Arsenal, and also don't flop it because if by the time Tottenham go into that Liverpool game, they're already settled in 4th place, I'm going to be pissed because I need Tottenham to come and show up in that game. So Arsenal,
what did you make of it then, Tom? Because we're going to go into it now, and obviously it's Man City versus Liverpool, 2-2 draw. Didn't give anybody any decisiveness of who's going to win the league. Left it an open book. What did you make of it? Because I thought City ripped him, and I thought City should have definitely won the game, personally, in my point of view.
City deserved to win the game. City were the better side. Liverpool had good spells. They counter-punched well. They played better in the second half. And they've got players and quality and danger in that team that just means that they're always in for a shout.
Just take that comment off there. Just
they're always...
People, them can see it full screen.
That Liverpool team's always dangerous, and they can always just get a result just off the fact that they can get goals and they can get over the line. But City should have won it. I mean, probably before the game, I know quite a few City fans that I've spoke to before the game were saying I'll take a draw. Not necessarily because we shouldn't be winning at home against Liverpool, but just because losing at the start of the week that we've got ahead, the start of this running that we've got, Liverpool on Sunday, got that second leg of Atletico, then we've got Liverpool again in the FA Cup. if this week had started off on the wrong foot, I think there was a lot of us City fans that were a little bit paranoid or nervous of it just all unravelling in the space of 7 days. Like I said, this has been one of them seasons where the whole seasons are made or broken for teams in the space of 2 games, 3 games. Do you know what I mean? City could literally, their whole season could have folded in 7 days this week. If we'd lost in the league to Liverpool, then gone out against Atletico, and then gone out of the FA Cup next weekend, it's season done. Well, now you're playing for the Carling Cup and hoping that you might catch them in the league.
Carling Cup's already been done.
Oh, not Carling Cup, yeah, of course. It'll be over. So, I think a draw meant that we're still just about in the best position in terms of the league. It means that we go into that Atletico game probably a little bit more with a part of the job done, part of the week's job done. Do you know what I mean? A little bit of pressure relieved. If we can go in and get through that game with Atletico, then we go into the semi-final. We'll go into that semi-final next week.
I don't think you'll have an issue, to be honest with you.
And if we beat Liverpool in that semi-final next weekend, then the draw at the start of the week will have been forgotten, because that game in some ways, now that we know that the league game ended in a draw, I think that cup game is going to be huge.
Oh, Chelsea are winning 1-0 against Real Madrid as well. Just get it in. Thought I quickly give a quick check and see what the as with footballing men, we have to check these things.
But yeah, I think that FA Cup game next weekend is almost going to be bigger than the league game, because there has to be a winner. There has to be a winner. It's going to,
might go to pens. You never know. Add to the drama. But what do you make of all this? The rivalry between City and Liverpool. People are saying that they think it's the best rivalry, and no. But what consists of a rivalry? Because I thought United Arsenal, that was a rivalry.
Gary Neville said the same thing.
That was a rivalry that even to this day we speak about.
I mean, for me, I don't like Liverpool. I guess probably mostly because they are our most direct competitive rival. Klopp does my head in a little bit.
You see when he ran off on Pep.
He's a top manager, but he's just a bit of a prick sometimes, isn't he? And I kind of just want to see, I just feel like Pep operates on a different level of class to Klopp, and I want
my manager to be a prick sometimes, though.
Yeah, of course. When it's your manager, you don't mind, do you? United fans loved Fergie being a prick. But yeah, beyond that, just a bit of dislike based on the fact that they're the team that we're up ahead against. It's nothing compared to the relationship I had with United all them years. And when us and United were going head to head for the title, it was a totally different thing. For me, anyway, I can only speak for me. Other City fans might feel differently, but for me, when it was United and City were 1 and 2 for a few seasons, that QPR game, last game of the season, for me,
that was the rivalry.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that rivalry was a locality, a geographical rivalry. You know what I mean? We're from the same fucking city. That Arsenal United rivalry, like you say, it was a rivalry in the sense of
come on, looking to get punched
hatred.
up.
It seemed like hatred at the time. Do you know what I mean?
His legs were getting snapped.
It was a lot.
That was a proper rivalry.
So I understand what people mean. I think in terms of competitiveness, in terms of competition, this is the best elite competition between two teams we've seen in Premier League history, probably in football, period. If we talk about boxers, for example.
There was a period, though, where Real Madrid were just absolutely phenomenal.
They were, but I think what we're talking about here isn't about
Ronaldinho times.
But who was their main? What we're talking about here is not about one team or even two teams being exceptional. It's about two teams being exceptional consistently for 4 or 5 seasons, to where now you get a 5-year-long battle between two teams where they're just consistently hitting this level. I think I read somewhere that
it's been 5 years.
I think 4 years is. I think it might be 4.
We added them extra years.
I think the year before that, obviously City were already still there, and Klopp's Liverpool team were kind of in transition. But I think I read somewhere that over the last 3 seasons, or 4, might be over the last 4 seasons, the point that separates City and Liverpool at the moment is the amount of points that separates us over the 4 years. So if you add up the points we've got from all 4 seasons, both teams, City are on like 381 and Liverpool are on like 380. Like, we're talking about close levels of elite performance. And I don't really remember that. I remember those top Real Madrid teams. I remember United and Arsenal going back and forth. But I remember United and Arsenal going back and forth in a way where it was like Arsenal and United maybe had a season where they were both there or thereabout. And then there was a year when Arsenal blew United away. And then there was a year where Liverpool...
You gotta understand, like, we've won the league at Old Trafford and that, bro, innit? Like,
yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
But that's...
Like, that was in the rivalry, bro. So this is, like... For me, it's one of them. Like, you can't just like man hugging man.
Yeah,
at the end
I don't
of the
think
rivalry.
I don't think rivalry was. I don't think
probably
so.
the best.
I think it's the best competition we've ever seen between two clubs. I don't think it's the best. I don't think it's near the best rivalry. I think Arsenal United is above it. I think probably Liverpool United once upon a time would have been above it. I'd take City and United above it. All of that, again, like you said, when we talk about drama,
Arsenal,
emotion,
a big
hatred,
man. Trust me.
Talk about Tevez, welcome to Manchester, Balotelli, why always me? Like, there's none of that in this Liverpool City saga. There's no player that switches sides.
Trying to advocate violence and all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
even just
Liverpool, man, do start lashing up man's buses and all of that. Do you know what I mean? But do you know what it is, Tom, as well? I just feel like people are just caught into the hype of the Arsenal United rivalry, and because I think that was the best rivalry, and I don't think anyone can actually deny it. The Vieira, you don't get 2 players in this day and age that fucking hate each other anymore, innit? Like, you don't get 2 players anymore.
It was a clash of styles,
winning
clash
the
of
league,
managers, clash of cultures.
Yeah, FA Cups, like everything, like moments make it, innit? And I think Gary Neville touched on it, and I think he hit the hammer on the nail, bro. And I think City Liverpool this season, I think it's going to be one of the most exciting last bits of the season that we're going to see for a long time, because I can't see any of them losing, but I can see maybe somebody slipping with a draw, and I think that's where it might come into it, because they're just going to go head to head now to the end of the season.
I'm not confident anymore. I'm not unconfident. I'm not saying I think Liverpool are going to win it, but even the game this Sunday, I ended up having to. I knew I was coming up here first thing on Monday morning. Had to run around, sort of a few last bits of work stuff. So while the game was actually live, I couldn't watch it. I was just listening to it on the radio, and my nephew was texting me when there was stuff happening in the game. But I ended up having to go back and watch it afterwards, after already knowing the score. And to be honest with you, I was kind of glad of it, because my nerves, my flipping mental health, emotional health, it wouldn't have been good for it, because it's this whole season, the way it's culminating, it's just got me mad on edge, because it feels like there's just so much at stake.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucked to think that as of today, between now and the season, there is one path where City go on to win the treble and arguably crown themselves as probably one of the most successful, or maybe arguably best team in Premier League history. If Liverpool go win all everything and win the quadruple, then all of a sudden City are going to be the second fiddle. I don't think they will, but the fact that that's even on the cards, the fact that this week, like I said, we could have bottled it, and all of a sudden Liverpool could have been pole position to win 4 trophies and we might have won none. That is almost makes it more intimidating than if it was like City are still in 2 cups, Liverpool are out of one of them, Liverpool have won another cup over here, a bit more separated up. The fact that it really feels like we're going head to head with these guys 3 or 4 times in a row, back to back to back, and it can all go tits up.
But you know what though, is it all adds to the excitement of the running, innit? When you think about it, as a fan,
I think neutrals are enjoying it more than we are.
I think neutrals obviously squeaky
bum
time for
neutrals want it to go down to the last.
To be fair, I would like City to win it. Like I said, I don't mind City winning it, because I've got a little connection with City just from where I'm from. But obviously, it's just when Arsenal's not involved, bro, it just hurts, man. Like, when you think about it, you're watching 2 teams fighting for the top, and your team ain't got a hope in hell of getting there, bro. Disheartening, you know, Tom.
Shall I see?
Swap shoes for the day, see how it feels. It's not nice.
I'm just wondering whether I should try and get
But yeah, people do apologise. You know, we haven't been able to get to many of the comments as well because obviously the laptop's a little bit far away from us. It's a little bit awkward, to be honest with you. But next week we are going to be adding the phone calls in as well, so we'll be ringing a few people and getting you involved, getting your thoughts on not just Arsenal or City, on other teams. You could be a Wolves fan, anybody that plays in the Premier League. Give us a call in, and we'll be more than happy to discuss some football with you.
Do we want to try and call a Liverpool fan?
Do you want to get a Liverpool fan on? Do you want to get a Liverpool fan on?
Shall I give it a go? I don't know if we were gonna call this guy.
Just press hide on that there, though, Tom. Sorry.
We were gonna call this person a week or two ago, and I don't know if they knew I was gonna call today, so we don't know if they'll answer. But let's give it a go.
Go on. It's gonna be like prank TV, you know.
I don't know. Let's see if this works.
Sure, is he be ready for this phone call, Tom?
Probably not, you know. But let's give him a
a
call.
bad thing.
Let's see. I got an Everton fan waiting in the wings as well.
Yeah.
They told me that they didn't want to be called unless things were going better. So I thought this would have been a week to call them, but let's give this a go.
Well, after them beating United, that was a good result for them. It was a much needed result.
You can hear that, kind of.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Is that Wishant? This is
Yeah, it is.
This is Tom calling. From we're live on the Premier League Unpacked show. I know. I didn't give you much of a warning that I was going to be giving you a ring. Are you free for a moment? To give
You
me
just won $1 million.
Yeah, no, I wish.
Joking.
No way.
Yeah. Have you got a moment for us to give us your thoughts on how things are going for Liverpool and how you're feeling about the running, or do you want us to give you a try another time?
No, man, go for it. I was literally looking at Champions League, lads. You know what I'm saying? I was just looking at the Chelsea game still.
Is it still 1-0?
But yeah, man, I'm happy to. Still 1-0 to them still, but yeah, I'm happy to chat about the quadruple and them thing next. So
Yeah.
as long as we're still in the ascendancy.
Yeah. How is that? How you're feeling? That was the first thing I was going to ask. What's the temperature over there? Are you feeling like you're in control at this point?
You know, it's hard. You know, obviously, I'm sure we all saw the City game, man. What a game that was, and it's hard, isn't it? I'm just trying to be as professional fan as possible. You know how the captain always says it. He's like, we got to take it a game at a time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it gets cliched, isn't it? And you hear the gaffer say it as well, bro.
Yeah.
But literally, I think it's so easy to get lost in the sauce and think, can we do all of this, bro?
Yeah.
But I don't know until you know, innit? Because there's 4 trophies for grabs, but equally, City can say there's a treble there, innit? And it's just fine margins, innit, man? Obviously, there's a dreamer inside of me, but I'm just trying to be cautious with it, bro.
Yeah,
but we'll see, man.
I was just saying to Premsy a similar thing. I don't know if it's the same for you, but I was saying to Premsy the fact that in this season is kind of unique in a way that both of us are so kind of so neck and neck and have both got so much still to win potentially. It almost like adds to the pressure. Like for me, it feels like I'm more anxious, not only because I know that we could lose it, but that I know that our season in the space of a week could go from treble being on the cards to us winning nothing and Liverpool winning everything. And that's kind of almost like raised the stakes a bit where, like yourself, I've kind of been like almost just putting one foot in front of the other, like just trying to get through Sunday's game, get through this Atletico game, get through that next FA Cup final game, because each of these games has got the potential to swing it all, where all of a sudden this is the year that's remembered as Liverpool's glory and not ours. So it feels like there's a lot on the line. Do you know what I mean?
I just want to ask as well, sorry for interrupting, I just want to ask, do you feel like this Mo Salah situation might have an impact on the back end of the season for Liverpool?
I don't know, man. I think it's hard to single out the contract situation because he's played so many minutes at the AFCON, and that's obviously going to have an effect just all that travelling and going extra time.
Because I don't think he had a great AFCON, to be honest with you, either. You know, obviously, before he got there and that, all the
and then
trouble.
obviously, I know you got the qualifiers as well. Yeah, it's true, man. I think you're right. That's probably a good case to say that the contract's probably affecting his on-field performances, like just all the uncertainty around it. But yeah, definitely as a fan, I just hope it gets cleared out as soon as possible, innit? Because you just want it's a catch-22. You want the contract situation to get sorted, but also you don't want them to do a bomb and block like Young where they pay him $350K a week, and then all of a sudden, man don't care, bruv. Man's in a Ferrari, skirting, and then all of a sudden his metrics on life changes, bruv.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So hopefully,
I
bruv,
hear that still. I do
like
hear that still.
And it's a techie one as well, innit? You don't want to break our wage structure as well. So there's a lot of factors, but yeah, man, we just want Mo Salah back to his best, man. But again, against you, man, I'm judging your City fan the way you were chatting. He contributed in it with an assist, and that's all we want from Mo, innit? He might not pop up with a goal, but he might just pop up with a worldie of a pass and an assist. And yeah, that's how he's judged, really, innit? On like his goal contributions, bro. So I'm happy to see that from the last goal. Sorry?
He's so deadly that he is more than anyone almost in world football. He could have 85 minutes of having a stinker, and if he has 5 minutes of being his best, he could win the game for you in that 5 minutes. And that's the vibe I get from Liverpool in general a little bit. Like that game on Sunday, that was a little bit my kind of takeaway from it, was that, you know, City pretty consistently throughout the 90 minutes operated at a certain level. Liverpool were kind of not at their best at certain moments, but were able to amp it up in certain moments. But you're so ruthless and so deadly that you guys only need 5, 6, 7 minutes in a game of just getting into that gear and getting in and behind and into the other team, and you can cause mayhem in 7 minutes or 10 minutes, or do you know what I mean? And all of a sudden the game's gone. And that's why you guys scare me in the Champions League as well. Like, I do not want Liverpool in that Champions League final in Paris. That's the last thing that I want, because I just know squeaky bum. And I know that Liverpool, I know that Mane, I know Salah, they've got players that can just, even if City are dominating the game, can just turn up and do something and get 2 goals in 5 minutes, and now you're 2 goals behind, and now you're trying to get past Van Dijk, and they just set in and they find that solidity again, and it becomes impossible. So yeah, man, it's a hard one to call. What's your prediction then? What if at the end of the season, where do you think each trophy's going, if you're going to be realistic?
Come on, you have to back your team, innit?
Yeah, going all 4?
But I have to say that in my heart, bro. But
I like it, man.
I have to be respectful of what you man are doing as well, Carl. Yeah. Same way you're fearful of our components and that, the same the compliments return in it, and I think you saw that as well on the pitch, innit?
And it's ain't no rivalry. Use man sitting here giving each other compliments and all that fuckery. You get me, bro? This ain't no Arsenal United rivalry. You get me, man?
Well, you man don't see boys.
Get me?
Yeah, I'm City. Then Prem's
Arsenal, man.
I'm City. Prem's is Arsenal. So.
Oh, I hear that.
He's talking about his.
The City boys, man. Like, I'm down in London. Like, there's no City boys to be seen, bro. Like, I've never seen a City fan in my life, really.
Well, that's because
apart from a couple ones that I've claimed to be. I'm chatting to you man now, which is like a miracle.
Yeah. Well, that's because we're from Manchester, the City fans. We generally.
Yeah, up north. Maybe if I go up the city, might change, but it's like I don't feel it here, innit?
No, so, like, it's true. Well, that's to be expected
to this day, bro.
But it's mad in the next 20 years, you're going to see so many more City fans, you know what I mean? Because look at Liverpool, you got to think, when I was growing up, Liverpool were dog shit.
Yeah.
Dog shit, I'm telling you. And now, they've flipped the switch, do you know what I mean?
You only have to be
goals, it's a good chance that they're going to go dog shit
you only had to be 5-10 years older than us, and then you were probably a Liverpool fan because they were in that bag then.
Not even them, because if you actually think about it, they didn't win the league for 30 years. So we're we're growing up in that, bro. Like, realistically, City weren't, not City, Liverpool weren't really.
No, but they were still winning Champions League.
That one on 2005, that was a top achievement. But other than that, realistically, when they had man like Torres, Suarez, all of that, they didn't really get anything that they should have achieved. They should have won a Premier League at least once in that space with certain players they had. Xabi Alonso and all of them, man. Do you know what I mean? So I just think that I think that with Liverpool and City, what they're doing now is great in it. But I think City are going to be able to sustain this for a longer period of time than what Liverpool are.
Because the
Financial,
structure
yeah.
and the system
Money,
in place.
money
Yeah.
talks, bullshit walks.
Well, we'll have to talk that with you another time. We'll call you to talk about Liverpool structure and Liverpool business and all the rest of it. But we appreciate you picking up the phone. I know we put you on the spot a bit, but it's been a pleasure, bro.
Yeah, pleasure's mine, bro. Chat to you guys soon, yeah?
All right,
Bless
King.
up,
Enjoy
bless
your
up.
evening.
Bless you too, guys.
Well, that was good getting an opinion of a Liverpool fan. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to say. This is why it comes back to this rivalry thing. You've got a friendship going on. You get me? You're giving each other compliments and all of that. So it's all you trying to do. You know what I'm saying? But the achievement itself is what you're challenging for and where you're challenging head to head, right at the top, Champions League. The achievement's unbelievable, and yeah, you are looking and you are feeling envious because. So I'm not gonna lie. I look at it and think, yeah. Fucking hell, Liverpool were shit. Look how great they've become, and that's just me being a little bit jealous, to be honest with you, because of how shit Arsenal have done and how we've been on a downward spiral from 2004 onwards. Really, do you know what I mean? Got to the Champions League final 2006. To be honest with you, we should have won it that year. Really, I think a few things got fucked up in that game, but the ascendancy was in our favour. So other than that, ball got moved to the Emirates. It's a mad thing.
Is that deep in Thailand?
Yeah, he's in Thailand.
Same bring me on. Let me tell you some facts.
Give him a. But obviously in Thailand, he's gonna end up giving man charges.
You on is he on WhatsApp?
Yeah,
If you got if you're on Wi-Fi, drop it in the comments deep and we'll hit you up. Big up T that said liking the sound of the call-ins. Why not Spursy asking about Cubano? Yeah, it's the Cuba flag in the background.
Yeah.
I know it's not the most football themed background, but we just had to find somewhere. We got it in where we could. We're in the basement right now.
We're in the basements. You get me in the basements.
Yeah.
All kinds of shit happen. You know what I mean?
True.
So just gotta keep it like this.
Yeah, it's true.
But Tom, just one thing as well I wanted to touch on. Yeah, got this Champions League. Obviously, I know it's Premier League Unpacked. What do you think then? Give me your Champions League winner. Honestly, I don't just say City for biased. Who do you honestly think's gonna win? Because Karim Benzema, wow. He's looking like a animal. And he's the kind of player that will win you that trophy. And that's what I'm thinking as well. Like, everyone thinks City or Liverpool. I don't think anyone's putting no respect on Madrid's name.
Yeah, it's City that have to come up against Real in the next round if they get through, innit? I think City should beat Real Madrid. I think that Real Madrid team, I don't want to speak too soon, but I think besides Benzema, who is just out of this world right now, I think I've also seen moments this season where they've looked vulnerable. They've looked incomplete as a squad. And I think over 2 legs, if City turn up and do what we do, I think we'll have enough and we'll be consistent enough across them 2 legs to come out on top. So I'd like to think that I'm hopeful City will get past Atletico. I feel quite confident about that. And then if we do get past Atletico, I think that we'll get past the next round and get into that final again. I've got a feeling it's going to end up being City and Liverpool in the final. I don't want to see that. I would much rather play Villarreal or Bayern. I would play any other club that's in the competition in the final before I would play Liverpool. That's the last team that I want to play in the final. I just think that...
Why? Scared of them?
A little bit, but more just so that I think they are the other top. I think they're 1B. City are 1A, they're 1B in Europe right now. But also they have been there before and done it. So when we get to that final, when we get to that final, and it's as close and as neck and neck as it was in the league on Sunday, or as I'm sure it's going to be in the FA Cup, but then we're going in with that feeling of this is that. Sorry.
On WhatsApp there, tried to get him free. Yeah, try to give him a call.
Come on, trying to slide your phone in. But yeah, I think that's my concern, is that we get to that final. There's not much to separate us as teams, and then City have the monkey on the back of we've not won this before. This is Fernandinho's last chance to win it. You know, there are other players in the squad this might be their last chance to win it. Liverpool aren't going in with that weight on their shoulders, and I think that could be enough to swing it in Liverpool's favour. So, but I'm gonna take a leaf out of our caller Wishant's book, and I'm gonna just try and back my team and speak it into existence. So I'm gonna say City to win the champs this year.
City to win the Champions League.
I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna just speak it into the ether.
I think City's as well, but I think Real Madrid might
Give it a go.
can give it a go. And you think I think Real Madrid. I don't know why. I think Benzema just giving it. You know, that little bit of oomph in these last 2 games, 2 hat tricks. I feel like go on, Tom. I'll let you.
Yo.
Hello. Are we speaking to Deep?
I'm watching the show, lads.
Okay.
I was the head down there, but I just wanted to talk about the Liverpool thing, really. Like you're saying about the rivalry in City and Liverpool. I just think Liverpool are just trying to make themselves relevant. They're having a little spell at the moment, and they're just they're trying to make it. It's like cemented in history. I don't think they're the greatest team out there. I think they're a good team. Yeah, I think City should have put them to bed the other day. I think there was individuals that could have just passed it in the box and killed that game off, especially in the first half.
Yeah.
I think Liverpool was shaky. If you see them in the first half, you see Van Dijk looking shaky, looks scared. Scared.
Yeah.
For people who you don't know, Deep's a United fan. Just to let you know, that's why he's got it in for Liverpool.
But he's speaking truth, He's speaking truth.
Don't get it wrong, lads. Don't get it wrong, lads. I hate City just as much. But like Jamie Carragher for me, that's what it is. Jamie Carragher, he knocks me sick. And I just feel
man saying how's he getting his job after spitting on people, that's what man's saying out here. I'm telling you, that's
it's not that. It's like he's has never won a Premier League title. Do you understand what I mean? And because he's got like a little bit of glory over the last couple of days that he didn't achieve, he's making himself sound like he's fucking on top of the world. He's done it all, mate. He's not done nothing. He's done nothing. Not only that, but there are Liverpool fans out here as well. There's a lot of them. And all these ties are the Liverpool fans, man. Even when I'm training with these these trainers, they're all loving Liverpool right about now. But like I said,
make sure you wrap 2-3 of them up, and throw an Arsenal shirt on him.
More time, these time motherfuckers are strong. I'm not even gonna lie.
Good luck with
training with him, like all of you looking like Tom Paul.
Of course. Of course. That man are on it from kids.
But just football in itself, and generally, I'm a United fan. But again, like I said before, Arsenal-United rivalry, that was a real rivalry. I just feel like this City-Liverpool thing, they're trying to copy each other. They can cement themselves inside like the future so man can talk about them in a couple of more years' time. Like, they had a big rivalry ready to no, it's in about 2-3 seasons.
You got to think about it as well, boys. If this rivalry was in the time of social media, Arsenal and United, you got to imagine how big it would have been. People would have been paying grands for seats.
Roy Keane would have been sending dick pics to Vieira's missus and that.
It would have been listen, love, Vieira would have been there slapping all United squad, mate, all that misses and all that. You get
putting them on World Star.
We giving up. We trying to get Roy Keane in and around how big Vieira's people and them. But deep gonna happen.
It's like that. Even when you hear Roy Keane, don't get me wrong.
Is that great
stuff.
No, go on, Deep. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think he's like the greatest of pundits, to understand what I mean.
Yeah.
But when he was on the pitch, and you seen the seriousness in his face, like you don't see that with no Van Dijk and I don't know any City's hard men. You know what I mean?
It's a different.
There's no hard men in there.
Cut from a different cloth.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like back in the day, like Van Dijk with our one would have been Yap Stam. You understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. Do you see the seriousness in Yap Stam? Van Dijk has no seriousness like
that.
Quality
defender, though. Quality defender.
Yeah.
Nah, don't get me wrong. He's quality. I met him in real life in San Carlos. We had a bit of a laugh. Not even gonna lie, But he looked shaky. Like second half, and Klopp just he gave him a rollicking. That's why he stepped up the performance. But even then, there's 2-3 clear cut chances he could have just put in the box, and it would have been a tapping on that game. And I just feel like they wasted their chance. If Liverpool do it, they're doing it by luck. Do you understand what I mean? I think they're a good team, but I think the City are way better. The way better. I think they're miles ahead. The only thing that they haven't secured is Champions League, but they've got a manager that knows how it's done in it. They've got a manager that's done it before with other teams.
like Barca. I know Barca was a great team at the time, but
Yeah.
City's team at the moment is they're the strongest team in the Premier League by far.
Yeah.
I don't think Liverpool are winning.
Yeah, it'd be a travesty if this City
I can
team
see them fluking the
Yeah.
Champions League again because that's that's kind of like
bread and butter.
the aim for that. I know they really want the league, but no, I think City have got that in the locker. To be truthfully honest with you, I think Champions League is going to be interesting. Like you said, boys, Real Madrid.
Not playing.
Don't write them off.
That's what Premsy just said the exact same thing just before you called.
There's a couple of players, but the togetherness, the determination. Like even after today's game, and obviously I'm not watching the game at the moment because it's like almost 2-3 o'clock in the morning down here, and man's got to be up in another 3 hours to go and training.
Yeah.
But fucking yeah, I think
just press on that comment, Tom. Just
just while I got you there, just quickly. Just I know you probably don't want to speak too much about United, don't want to spoil your holiday or nothing, but
no, we're shit, bro. I've got to put my hands up, bro. Like with that food, we don't deserve no top 4. Arsenal don't deserve no top 4. Even Tottenham, I don't think they shouldn't even be a top 4.
Just let 3 man go in. Only 3 man go in.
West Ham
City. I would like
to see West Ham there. I would like to see somebody new in there. I'm a United fan, but we don't deserve none of it. We don't deserve it. We're shit. Completely. Like after his thingy, he's bang on. He's the only player I actually like in that whole team. Because he said it how it was. He's not made no excuses. He's seen success at United, and he's seen what we've come to. Like even Ronaldo, it's more like he's a one-man show. It's
about him.
But nah, it's not. It's about him. We need to get rid of him. The whole team needs to go. To be honest, there's like dead wood inside the team. Like we got man like Maguire, the guy putting in on goals. Like against Everton, this Everton team was a weak Everton team. Like they've been on consistent losers. Like we're all over him as well, but we couldn't put in the back of the net. Like it's a shambles. We're at a shambles at the moment. I think in United, they just need to look at themselves properly. And I don't know, retire. All of them retire. But I got the boots now.
Pension time.
He's no good in it.
Pension time.
No good.
I think United's got a lot of work to do.
I heard someone saying the other day that there's rumours that the Ten Hag deal might fall through because of some of the demands that Hag's making now, based on how bad the situation is. Do you think
United need to realise, Tom?
Yeah, go on.
Sorry.
No, go on.
United need to realise where exactly they are. They haven't got a fucking clue, mate. They haven't got a clue from the top. They haven't got a clue from the middle, and they haven't got a clue from the bottom. So when Ten Hag is putting in his demands and saying like we can do this, take on the changes. We need a new style of football. We don't even have a style. At least this guy's gonna implement something. He like look what he's done with who's he with now? Fucking the Ajax. No, it wasn't Ajax. It was Ajax. Like he's made it like they don't have that much money, lads. They don't have that much money, and he's made them into a good team, an engine, a working together team. United don't have that. I'm kind of jealous of Liverpool because they've got that. Do you understand what I mean? And I don't like him. I don't really like Liverpool, but United, they're shocking. And it disappoints me. They ruined my holiday, mate. I was absolutely ruined it. I was watching the game inside a bar, and all the Liverpool fans are cheering and they're all tight. You know what I mean? I was going to end up getting locked up out here.
Yeah. You don't want that. You might just have to turn the football off.
Trust me, United ain't worth it. I'm telling you now for a fact. You get me? They ain't competing for nothing. They ain't competing for nothing.
Yeah. These Liverpool fans are just turned out the woodwork after 20 years. You know what I mean?
Been waiting.
Like, it's like, wow, I'm grown up not knowing who Liverpool are. Do you understand what I mean? All I know is that they didn't win anything. You know what I mean? A man like Jamie Carragher, he does me in.
Yeah.
He really does me in. Like, I hate him with a passion, but lads, I'm going to call it a night anyway, yeah?
Well, we appreciate it.
Like, sorry to watch the show, but I'm going to put my head down. It's good talking.
Make sure you train well. Come back looking like Hulk.
Yeah, enjoy yourself, man. Thanks. You're our first international caller.
Nah, seeing it, man. Well done. Keep putting the graft in, man. It looks a good training camp. Was it AKA Thai boxing camp down there?
Yeah, AKA Thailand. We're doing jiu-jitsu out there.
Make sure you don't get your head bust up. You have to come back and play with bust up then. You don't want none of that.
Enjoy
you know
yourself.
what? These ties are strong. You know, I swear to God, man, sparring with Swabby,
Right,
yeah.
we're gonna have to let you go now, though. Anyway, Premier League Unpacked, and that's for another conversation. I'll give you a call afterwards. All right, safe.
Much
Yeah,
love.
man.
Appreciate it.
That's it.
Bless. Look at that, man.
Obviously, he just hates Liverpool as well, and most United fans hate Liverpool. I think as well, they're seeing them do well. It's one of them things, and it's just another kick in the dick, innit? Especially when you're doing so shit, and you're seeing your bitter rivals just there, absolutely donning it up, looking like they could win 4 trophies.
Both of them as well. Your 2 worst rivals, Bayern and Arsenal.
Sad for United.
It's
sad for United right by now, but I'm enjoying every bit of it, man.
We did have an Everton fan. He got stuck in traffic, so we're going to chat to him another week. I've got one last. There's one last comment we could maybe respond to,
and then we'll wrap
from
it up.
Navrav, and then we'll call it a night. But Navrav says, should Saka play left back for the rest of the season?
Do you know what? I'd say no. And
It's a big loss to push him back into left back, innit?
I think it would make sense to do that, but the reason why I wouldn't do it, because I think there's no point in buying Nuno Tavares and just use a left back.
Disrespecting him, and that's your position.
Nah, disrespect.
When you start putting goalkeepers there, strikers
after
there.
like 25 minutes or something at one time, you get me? Half time next time, disrespect. Now you've got to play him, he's got to come to some sort of form, and at the end of the season, if he ain't good enough and he ain't what you want, sell him.
Yeah.
Get me? But he's your mistake. Go with that mistake, you get me? Otherwise, we ain't got options to keep. That's it, bro. We ain't got options. We can't weaken in other positions because we don't want to put a left back. That's a left back there.
Put Tavares there. Trust him to be able to do at least a base level of what a left back's meant to do.
Most definitely.
And because also you don't want to interrupt Saka's flow. You don't want him to now have maybe a weekend to the season or a weaker end to the season because he's out of position. Now he's lost a bit of momentum. Like he's the guy in the Arsenal team.
They just need a bit of experience around him, and the right winning experience.
They do.
Not just fucking old granddad experience.
No,
winning experience. It's people
Been
that
there
are
and done that.
off age, and I'm not saying granddads, but
Lewandowski's.
that
you know what I mean?
That can go for another 2 years, 3 years, or even people 27, 28 that have won shit or been in and around winning shit and know how to give fight and heart and desire and passion right to the last minute, right from the minute get-go to right to the last minute. Not start halfway, not start 5 minutes before the end of the game, start from the get-go, bro.
Yeah.
But I think on that bombshell, I think we should wrap it up there,
We'll
people.
wrap it up. I hope you've enjoyed it. This has been Premier League Unpacked live in the flesh. We're definitely going to be working on new content, more of these live sessions, and also more content, more new different content for your head top. So big up everyone that's locked in. Keep interacting, keep jumping in the comments, like, subscribe, tell your people, tell your bro, tell your mom. Premier League Unpacked is where it's at. Tell your dog and your cat.
Tom, it's been sick. In person, people, peace and love. We'll catch you next week, 8 o'clock on Tuesday. Hit the button.